for those of you that are unaware, on Unsportsmanlike with our friend Evan Cohen and Chris Canty, Michelle Smallmon, who is the star of the show, declared her NFL fan free agency. Tausch, correct me if I get any of this wrong. Because she's a St. Louis person, and the St. Louis Battlehawks are all they've got for football. And the Rams left, and so she's a free agent. And Tausch thought it would be a good idea to delegate to Jesse the responsibility of recruiting her to become a Packers fan. Jesse, ready or not, here we go. Joining us now from Unsportsmanlike, it is Michelle Smallmon. Michelle, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be joining you.
You will see if you still feel that way by the end of this segment, but we're happy to have you as well.
Michelle, quick question for you. Jason, as he was fumbling, as we were teasing it to come back from break, have a lot of people called you Mishmel Schmalman?
No, they haven't.
That's unique.
I'm actually kind of surprised.
And neither did I, because I wasn't talking to you at the time. I'm talking to you now, and I called you Michelle. But be that as it may, this is how this is going to go, huh? Is that supposed to be an icebreaker? Is that what your idea is there? Yeah,
so,
that's
Michelle,
a good one.
I'm a monster fan of Unsportsmanlike, mainly for you and for Chris, and then, Evan does what he does. But the show... We've seen this now that everybody, Evan is a front runner. He only goes with winning teams, New England. I'm not going to be shocked if he dumps New England and the Heat, but you need a football team, and we have the team for you, and it feels like you know that too, and we want to kind of just nudge you a little bit to embrace it. But what are you looking for when you're going to grab this new favorite team, and why shouldn't it be the Packers in your opinion?
Well, let's start with what I'm looking for first, and that's true love, because I went through a devastating breakup with the St. Louis Rams. I mean, most of us, unfortunately, have been there when we've been heartbroken at one point in our sports lives. But this is a heartbreak that I just have not had an easy time coming back from, guys. I mean, watching a guy who's from Missouri and Stan Kroenke do the city so dirty and rip the team out of St. Louis, all in the name of the almighty dollar, and then trash the city on the way out, only to go on and then win a Super Bowl. It's like watching your boyfriend dump you for someone that they perceive to be better looking, and then you have to watch them get married on television. It's just been awful, And so I have abstained from NFL fandom for a while, just covering the league as a neutral observer. But that's no fun. It's no fun to not have an emotional tie to sports. That's why we love sports. So I'm ready to get back in the dating game. I'm ready to pick an NFL team, and I have been leaning towards the Packers a lot for a lot of different reasons.
Okay, so we put together a little list of some of the reasons that you should. And I like the fact that you're put a young ascending team, community-based. Yep. There's no Stan Kroenke in Green Bay. This team ain't going anywhere.
Hey, wait a minute. You're starting to go into my
I'll let you
pitch.
Get to the... But young quarterback, star quarterback in the making. We have all this and tons of success to base off of, and we're looking for some national celebrities to kind of be on board. We need you to be a part of it too. So the fact that you have Jordan Love and you have all this great young talent with no owner, that's kind of my first part of the sales pitch to you.
Both are great things, and of course, I've thought about that. The lack of the terrible owner has certainly been a highlight on the Packers' resume, and I, for lack of a better term, pun intended, love Jordan Love. I remember after the Thanksgiving game, I came in, and I said to Evan and Canty, I was like, this guy is the real deal. He is a star, and this Packers team could win the Super Bowl this year. I heading into the playoffs last year, I thought the Packers could win the Super Bowl, and they're a team that I think will win a Super Bowl with Jordan Love as a quarterback. So both good reasons for me to become a Packers fan.
All right, that's all great, and you and Tausch both thought the same thing about this team last season. You both turned out to be wrong, but be that as it may.
I know, we did.
Now it's time for the important part of the sales pitch, because, and Michelle, I don't pretend to know you as well as Evan does, but it does sound like you've got some abandonment issues thanks to Stan Kroenke. Would that be fair?
Oh, I think that's an understatement. Yes,
okay.
I am jilted. Betrayal has really impacted me.
So you feel like you don't want to be hurt again by your team, per se, leaving you at the altar of fandom.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, guess what? The Green Bay Packers, they ain't going anywhere. They're owned by the community. The team president can try and shake down the mayor of Green Bay to try and get a better lease, but he even knows he ain't going anywhere. They cannot leave. They are not leaving. You will never, I can't promise you there won't be tough times in this relationship. 4th and 26. The 2014 NFC Championship game. There have been rough waters for Packers
but great
fans.
journeys to get to those spots.
You know, I
too.
love the journey. That's what I love chronicling. I'm not a fan. It's my job to tell the stories and compelling stories to be had. But there has been some heartbreak. There's been some tragedy in these relationships for Packers fans and their team, but they've never been left. The team is always there for them, and they will always be there for you. So you can take those abandonment issues and forget about them. The Packers won't do that to you, Michelle, ever, 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 ever. Now, if you're old enough, and you're not, but some of us on the panel are, there will be some times where you think, God, I'm not in love with this team anymore. 70s and 80s, lots of Packers fans felt that way. Doesn't look like that's going to be happening anytime soon either. So not only do you have an ascending team, as Tausch pointed out, a quarterback whose last name is Love, which is what you're looking for as a fan, but also they're never, ever going to leave you. They're the only team that can make that promise to you.
This is an incredible sales pitch. You guys can't see me, but I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm starting to get those butterflies that you feel at the beginning of a great new relationship.
Wow.
You guys are doing a great job. But I have to tell you the one thing that stops me from jumping in and committing to the Packers right away. So can I pitch that to you guys?
Sure. Let's hear it.
I'm worried that I will be seen as kind of what Evan Cohen is seen as with a front runner, because I'm a Cardinals fan, right? The Packers are kind of like the Cardinals in some ways, where they're a legacy franchise. They've had all of that great success. They have the history. They now are a team that are on the come up and will be contenders, hopefully, for many years to come. So do you think that that's kind of cheating if I jump on this bandwagon now and pick a really great historical franchise like the Packers?
No,
absolutely not. And here's why. Last year was the first time in a while, Rodgers left. There were not a lot of people. October, there were people talking about the Green Bay Packers having the first overall pick in the draft. You came back on board. You were on the Love train around Thanksgiving when we were not even thinking about the playoffs. And also, you start looking nationally. We always go with this. Who are the most famous Packer fans, Jesse? Who would those be? Is there a
Lil Wayne,
Jodie Foster?
So it's not. There's a lot of room, and we're a welcoming group. We want more people on board, and we think it's a great fit for you. But I think we're saving our best sales pitch for last from our producer.
Before Jesse does this, because she teased it a little bit, but I do think it's also important to point out, I don't think you're front running here. They went 9-8. I understand that everybody thinks they're the greatest thing since sliced bread and they're a Super Bowl contender, and you said that when you came in to the studio after whichever game that was, the Cowboys game. But the bottom line is, you know who they are? They're that guy that for a little while really didn't have his act together. Like he was coming, I've been there, coming off a bad breakup. And that 2022 season when they went 8-9 and Rodgers and all that stuff, like there were issues. And you didn't want to start dating them then, that team. Now they've got their act together, right? They've figured some things out. They're back on their feet. They got themselves a good job along with a good quarterback. Now's the time. They didn't win the Super Bowl last year. That would make you
haven't won a Super Bowl in 15 years.
Yeah, they had back-to-back Hall of Famers. They got 2 Super Bowl titles in 30 years to prove it. That's it.
Wow.
So, again, now, Jesse.
Nobody will say anything that you're bandwagon or Evan Cohening it. There's none of that.
No, definitely not. Now, Jesse, Michelle, you did. I don't want to say you stole Jesse's thunder, but Jesse is going to be. He is our.
Is this the most nervous you've been, Jesse? You look like you're dancing
in a while.
Yeah, you look real like. Since probably Favre called in.
Yeah,
that's what. This is what it reminds. Michelle, that's the impact you have on Jesse. He is back there. I have not seen him this clammed up in a long time, so I'm nervous for you, Jesse. Go ahead.
Michelle, I want to invite you to come on home and be a fan of the Green Bay Packers. And what I mean by that is this. You are Ms. St. Louis through and through. You talk about it all the time on Unsportsmanlike. There are so many similarities to St. Louis and the Cardinals, your favorite team, and the Green Bay Packers being your new favorite NFL team. And it's not just what the product is on the field. It's not just all the championships. It's not just the loyal fan base. I mean, you look at some of the traditions. St. Louis has gooey butter cake. Wisconsin has Racine Danish Kringle. St. Louis has toasted ravioli. Wisconsin has deep-fried cheese curds. St. Louis has Ballpark Village. Green Bay has Titletown. They are near mirror images of each other. The loyal fan base, the tradition of excellence, the winning that has occurred year after year, even to the point where fans around the country, some are viewed in St. Louis as the best fans in baseball, and we're viewed as entitled town because it's been so much of a successful run for so long. Come on home, be a fan of the Green Bay Packers, and use your national platform to cheer on the green and gold with the rest of us.
That was
awesome.
an incredible pitch. I just got goosebumps thinking about me going to Green Bay and being a Packers fan, putting on that cheese head and really leaning in. But I have to say, what is the Kringle thing you're talking about? Is that a pastry? That sounds amazing.
This is
It's not just a treat; it's a tradition.
You want to hear a jingle, Michelle? We have a list of jingles.
I think we also might have a video of Sydney and I with me as Buddy the Elf pitching Racine Danish Kringle. We'll get that to you later.
I need that.
I do have to. Jesse's wife started dating him because he approached her in a bar using a Boston accent, which he's not from Boston. Jesse, I have to ask, did you consider, given the success rate of your Boston accent, did you consider giving your pitch in the Boston accent that worked on Becca?
I did not, Mr. Wilde. Thanks for asking, though. It is worthy of note, though, that the Boston accent was first successful at Howl at the Moon in Ballpark Village in St. Louis to bring this thing full circle, huh?
That is really impressive.
I'm still not sure about cheese curds and toasted ravioli being mirror images of each other, but that's neither here nor there. Michelle, what do you think? What kind of case have we made?
Is there other suitors? What do we need to do?
Yeah.
We don't want to put added pressure on, but we kind of want to know where we stand.
But you have another 3 minutes to decide whether you're going to be a Packers fan or not.
Another 3 minutes. Okay, well, here's what I'll say. If this is the NFL Bachelorette, you guys are getting a rose. We're going on a hometown visit. Like, you are in the final stretches of me choosing. But I have to tell you, as I'm on the phone with you guys, I just got a text from Jonathan Hood from ESPN 1000 in Chicago saying, what are you doing talking about being a Packers fan? So people are around, especially the NFC North, are getting upset that I'm even considering that.
Yeah,
but I have to say, I don't know if there's a valid reason out there for me not to pick the Packers. And I always have said, despite me being an Illinois girl, that Wisconsin is the crown jewel of the Midwest. I am a big, big fan of the state of Wisconsin.
Some say Madison's the Vegas of the Midwest.
We have heard that.
Vegas Central.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you're a Cardinals fan. You hate the Cubs. You can't even think what Hoodie's telling. You can't even really ponder that. Is there any other team that we need to be worried about? Like, who else? Who else do you think might be getting a rose?
Well, the Packers have been in the mix for quite some time. I would say you and your squad are the leaders in the clubhouse for sure. But my favorite quarterback in the NFL is Joe Burrow. And so Cincinnati has been on my radar for a while too. But I don't have any reason to, right now, other than Joe Burrow and other than the fact that they're another Midwestern team, to say that I would pick the Bengals over the Packers. You guys have given me probably the most sound sales pitch that I've ever heard in my entire life.
All right, Michelle, I'll be honest with you. Unlike Unsportsmanlike, we don't pay attention to the clock at all, so we're not really tied to any sort of timeline. Be that as it, Tausch really, all right, we've made our pitch.
Well, first off, Cincinnati, and I'm not here to trash other teams.
This is not a good look for us. It's just
I'm not gonna,
our own. We stand on our own.
But that's the cheapest owner in football. It's just the facts. He is. They don't even have a practice facility. They practice under a bridge down by the river. And they had to go to a college to practice for their AFC championship game. They don't even have an indoor facility. Their quarterback's hurt all the time. And again, I'm not here to trash the Cincinnati Bengals.
Not at all.
But I am here for you to trash Evan Cohen. Not in a bad way. He comes across today. I was listening today on the drive-in, and he's just how would you describe Evan Cohen to the people that don't know him?
Oh my gosh, how would I describe Evan? As a person or on the show?
On the show.
As a host?
On the show.
Okay. So Evan is the most professional, buttoned-up guy you'll ever meet. There's never anything that's going to slip through the cracks with Evan. He has not only prepared for what is in front of him, he's prepared for 3 or 4 contingency plans. Like, he is going to be ready for whatever you throw at him. I don't know. Evan is just a very nuanced person. There's a lot of layers to Evan, right? Well, I'll give you this. And you guys, if you listen or watch the show, you've probably heard this. Right now we're having an issue with Evan where he tries to work rap lyrics into everything, and we're trying to break him of this bad habit because sometimes it's just very forced. It doesn't fit. So anytime he works in a rap lyric, we're having him put $1 in the bad take jar, and I think today he was up to 5. So that's what we're dealing with right now with Evan. It's just trying to get him to shed that from his everyday behavior to working in a rap lyrics on Unsportsmanlike.
All right. So, Michelle, when you're ready, we're not going to put any more added pressure. When you're ready, you just let us know. And when you're ready to make an announcement on what decision you're making, you just let us know. We feel pretty confident about the case that we laid out for you.
Well, I want to say this. Part of this issue I've been having with the NFL, like you said, is the team left me. They left us. St. Louis is a great place with amazing fans, and they did not deserve what happened to them, to us. And the fact that you guys want me, and by proxy St. Louis, to become Packers fans, just the feeling of being wanted is amazing. I haven't felt that as a football fan in a long time. So thank you for making the pitch and inviting me to become a Packers fan and making me feel loved and appreciated today.
That's what we're here for. I think this has been a huge success, other than Tausch's goal to get dirt on Evan Cohen was a complete and abject failure. We didn't get much of anything there. So, on balance, we are excited to welcome you in with open arms whenever you make that decision. So what's next? Are there other? I don't watch The Bachelor. I did once upon a time. But what happens next now? Is ESPN Chicago going to bring you in?
She's going on a date in Cincinnati is what's going to happen next.
Seems like it, yeah. She's probably going to have that chili, that god-awful chili down there, too.
I've never
but you're not
had
running
it, but
down
I heard
other
it's
sites.
Controversial. Skyline chili, I hear it's controversial. But yeah, I'll probably go on a few other dates with some other franchises and try it on. But I have to say, as I'm going on a date with Chicago, Cincinnati, really any franchise other than the Rams I might consider, the Packers are going to be in the back of my mind. And that's not a great place for these other suitors to be, knowing that I may be on the date with Chicago, but I might be thinking about Green Bay, you know?
You like that?
All right. Well, I again, Evan can quote rap lyrics all he wants. I would say that in the great words of Taylor Swift, I understand that you're going to be playing the field. But
God.
Her favorite.
What are you going to do here?
Her favorite.
Don't ruin it.
My favorite Taylor Swift song is "The Man," and so we have no problem with you putting in the work. We're not going to shake our heads and question how much of this you deserve, what you were wearing, if you were rude. Could all be separated from your good ideas and power moves. You're making a power move now to find a new team, and we will be happy after you've gone out on all these other dates to come back to us. We look forward to you rejoining us.
I look forward to that as well. Thank you guys for having me, and thank you again for the immaculate and impeccable sales pitch for the Packers.
Great job, Jesse. Thanks, Michelle. We appreciate you.
Smell.